of just having a great relationship.
Welcome to GlowGossips USA, the unexpected footage that changed everything. It was meant to be a subdued, nothing ever different ever happens kind of morning in Robyn Brown's home in Flagstaff. It's a kind of morning where nothing out of the ordinary ever really occurs. TLC was there to get some routine background footage. It's just the ordinary stuff for a future recap segment. Robyn, the perpetually poised fourth wife, was reclined on her leather sectional, sipping her accustomed cup of herbal tea in the living room. The camera crew, accustomed to documenting Robyn's serene and faithful personality, had their cameras rolling as usual. But what they actually ended up recording? Well, that would create a storm that would rock the very foundations of the Brown family. As she sat there believing the cameras were merely quietly gathering B-roll, Robyn was on the phone with her older sister Kendra. What she did not know was her microphone was still live and picking up every conversation. Her voice became harder, that soft-spoken, gentle voice. It gave way to something crisper, more gritty. Stirring her tea, Robyn sneered. "Kody's still playing that he's drowning in the money issues," she stated. "Please." He signed off on the reorganization. Then the kicker, and Janelle still believes that she has a legal claim to that Coyote Pass property. It's just pitiful. Off camera, a producer was rolling his eyes, clearly shocked. Had she just said that she and Kody orchestrated the financial restructure, one that excluded both Meri and Janelle? Robyn's tone fell to an even lower pitch with venom wrapped in pretend concern. "I wish they'd all just go away," she whispered. "I mean, bless their hearts, but they can't even take care of their kids, their marriages, or their finances." She produced a fleeting, almost caustic laugh. It was not the Robyn public were accustomed to witnessing. The camera crew immediately recognized they had recorded something big, something potentially incendiary. Back in the editing suite of TLC, the footage raised red flags. This was not a moment of careless slip-up or a catty aside. This was cold, calculating manipulation, and it did not fit Robyn's long-standing reputation as the innocent, peace-loving wife dragged into family conflict. Robyn had meticulously played the misunderstood victim for years, but this tape relayed a rather different tale. Behind the closed doors of TLC headquarters, executives argued back and forth in heated meetings. Should they broadcast the footage and risk facing the possibility of legal repercussions? Or should they cover for Robyn, who had become one of the show's most sensational and pivotal stars? Before they were even able to make a decision, the video leaked. A low-level editor, irritable or perhaps just tired, emailed it to someone involved with a scandal blog. And then the internet did what it's best at. It went ballistic. Within the next day, terms such as #ROIN exposed and #sisterwife scandal were trending on YouTube, Reddit, and Twitter. The backlash, it came quickly. Janelle initially viewed the video when her son Logan presented it to her. She sat silently in a rental house. Seeing Robyn mocking her financial breakdown was like a gut punch. She didn't utter a word, simply placed her phone on the table and stared off into space for an extended 10 minutes. Meri learned while she was out in Utah on a work retreat. Initially, she laughed more out of shock than amusement. That emotion, though, dissipated quickly and was replaced by tears. For years, she'd convinced herself Robyn was just lost, perhaps a bit bewildered. That fantasy was destroyed in a heartbeat. That evening, Meri put up a cryptic quote on Instagram. No explanation, just a soft message that said it all. The wolf behind the tears. A wolf in sheep's clothing is still a wolf, even if she weeps. That's the quote Meri uploaded. And soon the internet was ablaze. The comment section erupted. But it was no longer just about Robyn's words. It was about the demise of something greater. As for Kody, the speed at which everything crumbled stunned him. Not Robyn's betrayal. Deep down, maybe he even expected that. But how quickly the world turned on them. When the producers showed him the leaked footage, he dismissed it immediately. She didn't mean it like that, he said, visibly flustered. You're twisting her words. But behind closed doors, he was outraged, not only at Robyn, but at how vulnerable. He appeared weak, deceptive, like a man caught red-handed wearing a mask, particularly when she told him to act as if he was heartbroken. The manner in which she made the offer so nonchalantly, as if it was of no consequence, that's what hurt the most. The house, which had once been filled with family noise and chatter, grew cold. Thick silence settled in the air like mist. Tension. So heavy even the walls held their breath. Kody couldn't meet Robyn's eye. He slipped quietly into the guest room once again. And it wasn't only the adults suffering the brunt. Dayton and Aurora, usually subdued and deeply protective of Robyn, were devastated. Aurora, in particular, felt hurt. In a taped exchange, she lashed out at her mom in tears. Why you say those things? When you say you love the family, do you mean it? Dayton, who had increasingly moved away from the public eye, sat down for a rare interview. His voice was low but sharp. I believe people are finally getting to know who my mom really is, he said, when the cameras are rolling. She's not the person she poses to be.
I have 100% loyalty from Robyn. So, okay, yeah, I guess that's like Robyn. Nope, I'm just asking for loyalty.
Another pre-taped confessional from season 18. And season 18 came to light. Yet another leak. In it, Robyn stated, all I want is for Christine to stop tearing it all down. Mary, I just wish you'd let go. And Janelle, I hope she finally realizes she doesn't belong. Each of the sentences started out with an I wish, but with no kindness behind them, just bitterness. All wrapped up in phony concern. Fans recognized the telltale tone at once. Veiled insults, the mass bitterness, the sugar-coated voice with razor-sharp edges. Only now, it wasn't rumor, it was evidence, and the viewers didn't censor themselves. She's no longer crying. 1. Fan tweeted she's calculating. This is what a narcissist sounds like when they forget the mic is still on. The outrage became too deafening to ignore. Under increasing pressure, TLC finally spoke up. They issued the following statement. Are dedicated to revealing the actual lives of our cast. In the spirit of honesty, previously unseen footage has been authenticated and will be highlighted in upcoming episodes. Translation. No more editing out the tears, the cliches, or the manipulation. Robyn's mask had slipped, and TLC wasn't going to give her a pass anymore. And then came the final twist. TLC announced a brand new 3-part spin-off. Unscripted. The truth behind Sister Wives. A raw, no-holds-barred look at what really happened behind the scenes. Robyn refused to participate. Kody hesitated, but Mary and Janelle, they were in. You want the truth? Mary told producers. We lived it and were ready to share every messy, painful, and heartbreaking piece of it. Even Christine returned. As she emerged on set, the room was altered. Her eyes smoldered with unuttered emotion. The dry air of Flagstaff felt thicker than ever. The unscripted, the truth behind Sister Wives set bore little resemblance to the cozy, intimate scenes viewers were accustomed to. Was stark, at times almost cold. A bland, stripped-down studio with none of the homey furniture or comforting scenery. TLC producers referred to it as a raw environment, but to the cast and crew, it was simply the reckoning. Mary was already in her chair, posture relaxed but guarded, like a lioness poised to strike at the perfect moment. Beside her, Janelle folded her arms and gritted her teeth. She never said a word, but the tension in her shoulders told it all. Then there was Christine. She was dressed in a fiery red blouse and stood with a new sort of presence, strong, concentrated, unshakable. This was not the Christine from last season. This was a woman who had discovered her voice and was finally prepared to employ it. The air itself seemed to change when she walked in. The room fell silent. The moderator sitting between the couches greeted her with a soft nod. Thanks for coming, Christine. I know that wasn't likely a part of your agenda." Christine smiled weakly. "No, it wasn't." But then I saw that video of Robyn. The room fell silent. Even the camera crew leaned in, sensing something significant was to be shared. Christine went on. "The one where she called Janelle pathetic and said Kody was pretending to be heartbroken. That was it for me. That was when I knew I had to say something." Her tone remained calm, but her hands quivered in her lap. You could sense the pain right beneath the surface. "For years, I was informed I was the problem. Too sensitive, too independent. Not obedient enough." Christine's voice contained both sadness and determination. "But I wasn't the one faking being the victim while spewing lies throughout the family." She spoke to Mary and Janelle. Tone remained gentle but firm. "We all twisted ourselves into pretzels, trying to be just. But justice died the day Kody left Robyn's house and never returned." Mary brushed away a tear. Janelle nodded barely perceptibly. Her jaw still clenched, but now with mutual understanding. And then there was a harsher edge in Christine's voice. "Robyn employed her tears as a tool," she stated. "And we let it occur. We continued to excuse it. But sitting there drinking tea and making fun of Janelle's struggles, that is who she is." She stopped. No editing, no spin, just her truth finally. Emerging, the moderator was slightly dazed but asked the question everyone had in mind. "If Robyn were sitting here with us today, what would you like to say to her?" Christine didn't wait. "Robyn," she said, locking eyes with the camera. "You, lead, you lied to yourself. You lied to our kids. You lied to us. You held the sledgehammer and then cried about the broken pieces." Her words hung in the air like a storm cloud ready to burst. "This family breaking up, it didn't just do you well. You needed it to break up because a together family where we stood as one was a threat to your world." The room gasped with her. Mary took a harsh breath. Overwhelmed, Janelle took Christine's hand. Words didn't exist for a moment. There was the touch of women who had endured too much for too long. Then Janelle spoke quietly but firmly. She never wanted sister wives. It's just Kody. And somehow she managed to get him at the expense of all of us. For this segment of the unscripted special, TLC enlisted the voices that had long sat on the sidelines. The adult Brown children. Janelle's son, Gabriel, sat before the camera, eyes forward. His voice was calm, but laced with sadness. "Mom did her best to be nice," he explained. "But Robyn had a way of making Dad turn on her. We watched it happen. It wasn't even subtle." Next, Christine's daughter Aspen spoke up. Robyn would say things like, "I just want peace." But secretly, she was behind the scenes manipulating everything. We used to refer to it as her passive-aggressive wishes. And that's what it was. Sitting on the interview couch, Janelle's youngest child, Savannah, dissolved into tears. "All we ever wanted was to be treated the same," she cried. But Robyn did her best to make sure only her kids experienced that version of Dad. The rest of us were leftovers. Kody walks, and then approximately an hour after the children's interviews concluded, Kody showed up on set unexpectedly. He was tired-looking. Eyes bloodshot, shirt rumpled, his signature curls tucked back in a manner that indicated he hadn't slept very well. He sat down quietly across from the three women, now seated in hard, wordless solidarity. The moderator cleared his throat. "Kody, you've watched the video. You've heard what Robyn had to say. What do you think?" Kody gazed at the floor for a good long while. "I didn't want to believe it," he conceded. "Even when I did see it, I rationalized. I kept thinking there had to be more to it." He slowly looked up. But the reality is, she was lying. Not only to Janelle, but about nearly everything. Janelle's eyes opened in shock. Mary's mouth hung open in disbelief. She said she was being attacked. Kody went on, his voice breaking. That everyone envied her, that I had to stand up for her. I didn't even know I already had. Christine's voice interrupted, flat but cutting. And now Kody took a hard breath. Now, I'm not even sure I know the woman I married. After the cameras stopped rolling as the crew packed up, Mary, Janelle, and Christine remained off camera. Out of lights and scrutiny, they were alone, just the three of them. For the first time in years, there were no scripts, no lines to rehearse. Number Kody, no Robyn, just truth. Mary began. We let her dictate the story for too long. No more, replied Janelle emphatically. Christine bobbed her head in agreement. Let them sink in their deceptions. Ours is out now. People finally get it. The three women emerged together into the Arizona sunshine, free, angry, and end together. The red lights of the camera receded from their backs as they walked into something new. Truth, the unwanted live stream. 3 days following the bombshell reunion special that went viral and incinerated social media, Robyn Brown returned. But this wasn't through TLC. No carefully crafted statement, no polished press team. Just Robyn sitting on her bed, barefaced, eyes puffy, voice shaking. She went live on Instagram, and before she could even speak, the comments poured in. Let me guess, more tears. No responsibility. We've seen the footage, Robyn. It's done. Still no accountability, huh? Robyn stared into the camera, her eyes glossy. I don't even know where to start, she sniffled. Feels like everyone's coming at me. Women, I love the ex-wives of my husband. Now the entire world. Her voice shook before growing louder. Video, everyone keeps posting it, but it was edited. It was a private moment. TLC edited it. They made me out to be the villain. Then came the classic deflection. She put a hand over her chest and appeared hurt. All I ever wanted was peace in this family. I gave everything I had. I loved Mary. I loved Janelle. With quivering lips and narrowed eyes, Robyn continued her live stream, transitioning from sadness to rage. Christine never showed me warmth, she declared. But I still tried with her, her voice taut. These women tell me I messed everything up. Consider what they did. They closed me out like that, okay? They were vicious to my kids. They made me feel unwelcome. She was no longer sobbing now. Her tone was laced with anger, bitter. This narrative they're selling, it's not only inaccurate, it's hazardous. Robyn cautioned, locking gazes with the camera. It's intentional. They're disciplining me for things I didn't commit. They weaponized the social media TLC and the audience. She caught her breath, then continued. I never wanted to be the favorite. That's just something they invented because they couldn't handle the fact that Kody loved me back. But the response wasn't what she had anticipated. The internet reacts. Within 12 hours, Robyn's live stream had registered more than 2 million views. But the compassion that appeared to be within reach never arrived. Instead, it blew up big time. Versions of her accusing TLC of editing footage, all without ever making a genuine apology to Mary or Janelle, were viewed millions of times. YouTube. Summary channels dissected every sentence, every sob, even the flicker of an eyebrow. And then there was the worst and devastating news from inside the house. That evening, fans discovered a new TikTok profile named @Truth from inside. It immediately became apparent the profile belonged to Robyn's teenage daughter, Robyn Brown. The initial post was crude, grainy video, no illumination, no speaking. A clip of Robyn's voice from a recorded call done weeks prior to the scandal. I'll cry on TV again if TLC attempts to spin something against me, her voice responded. People feed off that. They'll never turn against me. Fans were shocked, but it didn't stop there. Aurora uploaded next. She was seated in a sweatshirt, looking nervous, hands folded in her lap in her video. I don't know how much longer I can pretend, she spoke softly. Pretend that I love my mom. She paused, then continued. She talks behind people's backs all the time. Christine, Mary, sometimes even about Dad. But when the cameras roll, she becomes someone else entirely. I'm not sure who she really is anymore. It's a collapse. Almost overnight, Robyn vanished. Her Instagram account gone. All comments on her previous posts disabled. Her emotional live stream deleted. And then, in a quiet but telling update, TLC removed Robyn's title, Family Peacemaker, from the official cast bios on their website. A leaked exchange from within TLC indicated the attitude of the producers. We gave her every opportunity, but this ain't editing anymore. When your own kids begin coming forward, that's not a story. That's the truth finally catching up. Kody's breaking point. In a final cut from the reunion, accidentally broadcast. Kody was overheard speaking to a producer off camera, not realizing his microphone remained active. "She lied to me too," he said softly. "I don't know how I get over this. Not even sure. I want to." Once holding on to Robyn like a storm-tossed life raft, Kody now stood alone, lost in the aftermath of betrayal too vast to overlook. The women get together without Robyn. Cameras rolled again, but this time the atmosphere was more carefree. TLC tagged along behind Christine, Mary, and Janelle to Christine's house in Utah, where the three women came together for one last circle of life moment. They laughed, they wept, and they toasted. "To truth," Christine said. Mary smiled. "We wasted too many years worrying about getting Kody's permission." Janelle nodded, lifting her glass as well. "No more." Christine held hers, aloft higher to peace. At last real, at last ours. A new chapter begins, and then the news that everyone had been waiting to hear. Only weeks since Robyn's disastrous livestream and her daughter's bombshell videos. TLC released a subtle but potent press release at 6 a.m. on a Monday morning. TLC is excited to present a new chapter in the journey of the Brown family. Sister Strong Life After Polygamy will include Mary Brown, Christine Brown, Janelle Brown, and their adult children. No Kody, no Robyn, no excuses. This wasn't Sister Wives anymore. The TLC press release made it as clear as day. This was new, a bold change, a new beginning. Sister Strong wasn't a title but a proclamation. The days of broken homes and splintered families across state lines were over. This new show would highlight the strong bond that had been reformed between Christine, Janelle, and Mary. Three women who had lived, survived, and now thrived. Every episode would alternate between there. Liv's Janelle, once the quiet provider in the background, would take center stage as she pursued financial freedom. With the loving support of her sons, together, they'd work to rebuild a legacy nearly destroyed by Robyn and Kody. Mary's story, long overshadowed, would finally get the light it deserved. Her emotional healing, the rediscovery of self-worth, and even the flickers of a romantic reawakening, all after years of being gaslit, isolated, and dismissed. Christine's journey would highlight the breaking free of unhealthy spiritual relationships by women, now established in a full new life with David Woolley. She'd be an inspiration and role model for others, stuck in the same tales and maybe most eagerly awaited of all. Unedited, unvarnished, and truthful admissions from the adult children. Now, able to speak without fear, Robyn's return to court. But as the women were moving forward, Robyn was being pulled back into court. Instead of on a live stream, Robyn's next step came via a lawsuit. A $3.5 million lawsuit against TLC. Her lawyers accused the network of defamation, breach of contract, emotional distress, and character exploitation. She said the notorious clips portrayed her as sinister when, as she put it, she was only overwhelmed. She argued it was taken out of context and broadcast without permission. And while Kody had been keeping low, his name was listed alongside hers on the lawsuit. They charged the show hurt both their public images and their marriage. TLC's response, the receipts TLC did not blink. Their lawyers acted quickly, petitioning for dismissal with explicit, documented proof. They provided signed releases from Robyn consenting to the use of behind-the-scenes and unaired scenes in future productions. But there was more. They provided emails indicating that Robyn had asked the crew to make the other wives look jealous and difficult. She even asked to reshoot private confessionals to increase emotional impact. And in the season 17 inside document, Robyn instructed the cameras not to record her dealing with Kody's children unless the scene made her appear warm and nurturing. The courtroom collapsed. Robyn showed up at the early hearing in a threadbare gray cardigan, unadorned face, visibly shaking. But there was no soft lens to be found here. This was reality under oath. When the judge questioned why her own daughters had made contradicting videos, if Robyn had been misrepresented, she crumbled. They don't understand, she wept. Christine is influencing them. The judge cut her off. Ma'am, he said simply, your children are adults. They acted on their own. TLC isn't your problem. The truth is, the courtroom was silent. In the second, Kody had his head in his hands. The women speak again? After the dramatic courtroom defeat, TLC broadcast a 2-hour Sister Strong live premiere event. The nation watched and asked questions in real time. Do you think Robyn feels remorse for what happened? One viewer asked. Christine didn't hesitate. I think Robyn regrets getting caught. Mary, being more subdued, contributed only. You can't lie forever. Truth has teeth. And Janelle, she was direct. She didn't lie to us. She stated she lied to Kody. She lied to our kids. Think she lied to America. Dan Evangel Fall. 3 weeks following her defeat in court, Robyn was seen alone at a Flagstaff grocery store. There was no glam squad, no TLC crew, only dark sunglasses, a sweat-worn hoodie, and the air of someone who had lost more than a fight. A paparazzo asked whether she would appeal. When paparazzi questioned Robyn Brown whether she would appeal her lawsuit, she didn't scream at them. She didn't weep. Merely whispered, there's nothing left to fight for. Everything is gone. Fans on social media labeled the moment the fall of Queen Robyn. Even loyal fans, those who once were convinced she was the faithful last woman standing wife, started abandoning ship on Reddit. Posts such as Robyn's House of Cards has collapsed, and we owe Christine an apology gained tens of thousands of upvotes. Kody's final word. A few weeks later, Kody Brown met for what would prove to be his last LA TLC interview. He was gaunt, fatigued, and devoid of his characteristic bluster. I was deceived, he confessed softly, but I let it happen. I pushed away the people who sacrificed everything for me, all for a conception of love that wasn't there. He paused to rub his face. For the first time in years, there were no dramatics, no rants, just introspective sorrow. My family is lost, he said. They lost faith in me, and I somewhere lost myself along the way. No excuses, no spin, just regret. The women rise. As Kody receded from sight, Sister Strong racked up records on TLC's streaming platforms. Janelle applied her newfound platform to start a nonprofit that empowers women who have survived spiritually abusive relationships to regain control of their money. Mary, who is living a more subdued existence at this point, started dating a Utah novelist and therapist. Inspired by him, she began working on a memoir detailing her path through and eventually out of polygamy. Christine and David Woolley created a mixed family bursting with love and laughter. They worked together to host retreats for women wishing to reclaim their freedom and identity. The final shot of Sister Strong's first episode became iconic. The three women, Christine, Janelle, and Mary, standing together in a desert field at golden hour. The wind in their hair, smiles on their faces. Everything was lost, Christine said. But we're free now, Janelle added. And at last, Mary finished. We're whole kind of, but nobody asked for. Robyn Brown disappeared from public life after the courtroom fallout. No shows, no interviews, no social media. 2 months went by in silence. And then suddenly her name surfaced again, this time within the publishing community. A business leak verified the release of Robyn's book, The Sacred Heart, My Truth as a Sister Wife. Coming in the fall, it was Buell, as a deeply personal, spiritual memoir about betrayal, motherhood, persecution, and being misunderstood. The sequel to the cover story then followed in a full-page newspaper advertisement. In it, Robyn held a dog-eared Book of Mormon, tears in her eyes and surrounded by dramatic lighting. The caption stated, "I gave everything." They blamed me, but the audience had moved on. The public did not accept her back. Not now. Critics and fans had pounced on the idea before the book even reached store shelves. Cashing in on a victim narrative after lying on TV and being chastised by her own children, one user demanded. Another quipped, "My guess is each chapter has a good cry." And in what became the internet's new battle cry, #sacred lie trended within hours of publication. What Robyn had once held in command, sympathy, telling, even that tears had finally been wrested away from her. Advanced review. Copies of The Sacred Heart started circulating among insiders. And the material caused even more controversy than anticipated. In its pages, Robyn blamed all parties but herself. Faulted TLC's editing for perpetuating a fictional narrative. Asserted Christine had embarked on a spiritual sabotage mission against her. Blamed Mary for emotional abuse and patronized Janelle as someone who remained merely for money. But what surprised readers the most? Her suggestion that her daughters, Aurora and Brianna, had been swayed by outside forces into turning against her. Kendra speaks out. Only days after the book's publication, Robyn's older sister Kendra finally spoke up. She had remained in the background during the family saga. Up to this point, she posted a raw, emotional 12-minute video on YouTube entitled Robyn Brown, My Sister, Her Deceptions, and the Truth. It wasn't rehearsed, wasn't scripted, and that made it that much more effective. I adore my sister. Kendra started out trying hard, but I saw her lie to those women. I saw her create a tale where she was always the hero and everyone else the bad guy. It just wasn't real. She took a breath, pulling herself together. Tears brimmed in her eyes, but they didn't faze her. They filled her with power. She wore her tears as a shield, and when folks stopped believing her, she turned on her own children. And before finishing the video, she left the viewer with one chilling question. If Robyn shares a story with you today where she's a victim, ask her who she blamed last year, because it's never her. The internet blew up. The video gained 4.6 million views in 3 days. Aurora and Brianna take back their story. For weeks, Robyn's daughters had been quiet, particularly since their first TikToks became viral. But that all changed after they read early in their mom's book. In a tearful Instagram Live, Aurora and Brianna broke their silence at last. Their words were cautious, but their pain was apparent. "My mom doesn't get to rewrite my story," Aurora whispered, her voice quivering, but firm. "I'm not being disloyal. I just finally saw the truth." Brianna spoke softly too. "We loved her. We tried to believe her, but she turned everyone against each other. We were just kids. We were used. We're not corrupted. We're not strangers. We're just not blind anymore." The response was unprecedented. That broadcast broke records. Over 2-3 million people watched live, and millions more streamed it afterwards. A spotlight of their own. Seeing the influence their words could have, TLC made contact with Aurora and Brianna. The outcome was a one-night TV special. From our perspective, the voices of Robyn Brown's daughters. No sets, no swooning music, no filters. 2 young women sitting next to each other on a simple couch with journals. Letters and unfiltered images from the last 15 years spread around them. It was still candid and very moving. At one time, Aurora remembered a conversation from years. "Past mom said to us, 'Don't believe what they say about me. They want to hurt us. Be loyal. Don't ask questions.'" And then Brianna read an entry in her diary when she was a teenager during the move to Flagstaff. Mom says Christine was jealous and mean, but I don't understand why she was so scared of her. Christine always smiled at us. She never appeared frightening. The special did not require bombastic music or sensational production. The reality was sufficient. With Aurora and Brianna revealing their hurt, not only from their mother's manipulation, but the childhood that they felt was lost. Creeping dread clung to their faces. There was no requirement for music that was dramatic. The feeling was self-explanatory. Robyn's last public sentiments. One day after the show ran, Robyn attempted once again to talk publicly. She didn't go live, she didn't make a statement. Rather, she posted a solitary sentence to her Instagram stories. Even if the world turns my kids against me, I will always love them. It was brief, bittersweet, and empty. The following day, her profile went dark. No more tales, no media interviews, no court hearings, just silence. The women react together, stronger. In the latest episode of Sister Strong, Christine, Janelle, and Mary met at a retreat they jointly hosted in South Utah. It was serene. It's toasty, like taking fresh air deep into your lungs. The event's theme, taking back your story. When someone asked during Q&A about Robyn's book and the daughter's recent award show special, Mary responded softly, "You only have so much time to keep lying before the truth comes out." Janelle nodded. "I'm proud of Brianna and Aurora. It takes real strength to walk through manipulation and still stand tall." Christine wiped a tear, but smiled. Those girls didn't just survive Robyn's world. They're building a life of their own now and will support them every step of the way. The bookcase says it all. As the episode came to a close, the camera panned slowly over a bookshelf in Christine's home. Among framed photos of children and grandchildren sat a single untouched copy of Robyn's book. A sticky note rested on its cover. One word written. In Janelle's handwriting, fiction, off camera. Christine gave a soft chuckle, and then came Mary's voice, calm and resolute. "Let's move on." The screen faded to black. Robyn's final attempt. A YouTube channel 6 months passed. With her book rejected, her daughters alienated, and TLC severed, Robyn emerged again on her own terms. She opened a new YouTube channel named Living in Love, Robyn Brown, and My Journey to Truth. The branding was soft and strategically crafted. Pale backgrounds, floral themes, gentle piano music playing beneath each video. Her banner featured a modest smile alongside a quote, "Time is of the essence and I'm ready to share mine," but the internet wasn't buying it. The comments came in sharp. "Is this healing or damage control?" More half-baked quotes and crocodile tears. Robyn, the camera already showed the truth. Debut video called They All Left Me was a 12-minute monologue. She wept. She stared straight into the camera. She explained that she wanted people to be able to view the real her, not the one they edited for TV. It garnered 900,000 views on the first day and 112,000 dislikes. In spite of her shaking voice and stiff posture, Robyn attempted to remain calm. But the harm had already been inflicted. The mistake that sealed everything? 2 nights after she experimented with something new, an authentic behind-the-scenes vlog of her journaling station and video-making process. But instead of sharing the edited one, she mistakenly posted 45 minutes of raw, unedited files, voicemails, screen recording, private audio messages. It was supposed to remain private, it didn't. Although the video was removed within 38 minutes, it was already too late. Fans had already recorded it all. Screenshots were posted, clips were reshared. The internet does not forget, and what it uncovered would destroy whatever remained of Robyn's carefully constructed image. It was a disaster. It's one of the leaked files. Was a voicemail Robyn had left Kody? It wasn't sad. It wasn't sorry. It was dark, bitter, and cold. Her voice was shaking with fury. "You promised to take care of me, Kody. You said you'd never leave me hanging. But now that things got dirty, you're just walking away. If you let them destroy me once you made me the focus, you owe me. I gave you 10 years of my existence. I allowed those women to embarrass me on television so that you could be the hero. Now you're residing in some lease while I wither away in this vacant house under the microscope. You're a coward. And if you don't get this right, I will make sure TLC hears my side. All of it. The soft